The Bambara Empire, a prominent West African state from the late 17th century to the 19th century, represents a significant chapter in the history of the Sahel region. Known for its vibrant culture, strategic location, and influential leadership, the Bambara Empire was a key player in shaping the historical and cultural landscape of West Africa. It emerged during a period of political fragmentation and regional reorganization, establishing itself as a powerful and cohesive entity that would impact the region for centuries. Geographically, the Bambara Empire was centered in the area of modern-day Mali, specifically around the central and southern parts of the country. The empire's heartland was situated along the Niger River, encompassing important cities such as Segou and Bamako. This region, part of the Sahel, a semi-arid zone stretching between the Sahara Desert to the north and the more temperate savanna to the south, was strategically significant. The Niger River provided crucial water resources and fertile land, which supported the empire's agricultural economy and facilitated trade. The Sahel's position as a transitional zone between desert and savanna also made it a hub for trade routes connecting the northern and southern parts of West Africa. Studying the Bambara Empire is crucial for several reasons. First, it offers insights into the complexity of pre-colonial West African societies, highlighting how indigenous people organized their states, managed resources, and interacted with neighboring cultures. The Bambara Empire's governance, social structure, and cultural achievements provide a window into the political and economic systems of the time. Additionally, understanding the Bambara Empire helps to appreciate the broader historical context of West Africa, including its role in regional trade networks and its interactions with other major empires and states. The empire's legacy, including its influence on language, art, and traditions, continues to resonate in modern Mali and across West Africa, making it an essential subject of study for anyone interested in the history and culture of the region. The origins of the Bambara people are deeply rooted in the broader context of West African migrations and settlements. The Bambara, a Manding-speaking ethnic group, trace their ancestry to the larger Manding cultural sphere, which includes other groups such as the Malinke and Mandinka. Their early history is marked by migrations driven by a combination of environmental pressures, such as desertification, and socio-political factors. In the centuries leading up to the formation of the Bambara Empire, the Bambara people migrated southwards from the northeastern regions of West Africa. This migration was part of a larger movement of Manding-speaking peoples who sought more fertile lands and favorable climatic conditions. By the late 14th and early 15th centuries, the Bambara had settled in the central Sahel, along the Niger River, where they established a series of small, autonomous communities. These early settlements were characterized by a reliance on agriculture, with millet and sorghum being the primary crops, and the development of complex social structures. The Bambara Empire began to take shape in the late 17th century, during a period of significant political and social transformation in West Africa. The empire emerged from a context of regional fragmentation and competition among various local powers. The key figure in the formation of the Bambara Empire was Biton Coulibaly, a charismatic leader who played a pivotal role in unifying the diverse Bambara clans and territories. Biton Coulibaly's rise to power was marked by a combination of military prowess and strategic alliances. In the 1670s, Coulibaly managed to consolidate control over the Bambara-speaking regions, establishing a centralized state with Segou as its capital. His leadership was instrumental in overcoming rival factions and creating a unified Bambara identity. The consolidation of power under Coulibaly allowed the Bambara Empire to control key trade routes and engage in commerce with neighboring states, which significantly contributed to its prosperity. Coulibaly's successors continued to build on his achievements, expanding the empire's territory and influence. The Bambara Empire became a significant player in the regional trade networks, connecting the savanna and desert regions with the coastal trade routes. The empire's strategic location allowed it to act as a mediator between various trade partners, facilitating the exchange of goods such as gold, salt, and textiles. Several prominent leaders played crucial roles in the development and expansion of the Bambara Empire. Besides Biton Coulibaly, other notable figures include his successors, who continued to shape the empire's trajectory. One of these key figures was Keita Kouyaté, who succeeded Biton Coulibaly and is credited with further strengthening the empire's political and economic structures. Kouyate's reign saw the expansion of the Bambara Empire's territory and the establishment of a more centralized administration. He implemented reforms that enhanced the efficiency of governance and administration, contributing to the empire's stability and growth. Another important leader was the 18th-century ruler of Segou, who oversaw a period of cultural and economic flourishing. Under his leadership, the Bambara Empire experienced significant developments in art, literature, and architecture. The capital city of Segou became a vibrant center of cultural activity, reflecting the empire's prosperity and influence. These leaders, along with other notable rulers, played a vital role in shaping the Bambara Empire's history. Their contributions to the empire's governance, military strategy, and cultural development left a lasting impact on the region. The legacy of their leadership continues to be remembered and celebrated in the history of West Africa, highlighting the significance of the Bambara Empire in the broader context of the region's historical evolution. The Bambara Empire was a complex and well-organized state with a sophisticated political structure. At the heart of this system was the emperor, known as the Ngaka, who wielded considerable authority over the empire's political, military, and economic affairs. The Ngaka was both a political and spiritual leader, embodying the unity and identity of the Bambara people. The governance of the Bambara Empire was centralized around the capital city of Segou. This city served as the administrative and political hub of the empire, where key decisions and policies were made. The Ngaka's authority was supported by a network of local administrators and officials who managed various provinces and districts. These officials were responsible for implementing the emperor's directives and maintaining order in their respective areas. The empire was divided into several administrative regions, each governed by a fama, a local ruler or chief, who acted as the representative of the Ngaka. These regional divisions allowed for more efficient management of resources, justice, and taxation. The fama played a crucial role in the local administration, overseeing agricultural production, trade, and social order within their regions. They were also responsible for collecting tribute and taxes, which were essential for the empire's economic stability. In addition to the fama, the empire had a council of advisors who assisted the Ngaka in decision-making processes. This council, composed of senior officials, military leaders, and influential elders, provided counsel on matters of governance, diplomacy, and strategy. The involvement of this council ensured that the empire's administration was balanced and reflective of various interests within the state. The legal system of the Bambara Empire was rooted in traditional customs and laws that were passed down through generations. The empire's legal framework was based on a combination of oral traditions, customary laws, and decrees issued by the Ngaka. These laws governed various aspects of daily life, including property rights, family matters, and criminal offenses. One of the key elements of Bambara legal and social systems was the role of the Jigas, traditional judges or elders. The Jigas were responsible for adjudicating disputes and administering justice at the local level. Their decisions were guided by customary laws and societal norms, and their authority was widely respected within the community. The social hierarchy of the Bambara Empire was structured around a combination of noble classes, commoners, and slaves. The noble class, which included the Ngaka and his immediate family, held the highest social status and enjoyed privileges such as land ownership and political power. Below the nobility were the commoners, who were engaged in various professions such as farming, trading, and artisan work. Commoners had the ability to rise in social status through successful endeavors and contributions to the empire. Slavery existed within the Bambara Empire, with slaves being primarily acquired through warfare or trade. Slaves were typically engaged in labor-intensive tasks such as agriculture and domestic work. While they occupied the lowest social status, some were able to gain favorable positions or integrate into the broader community over time. The military organization of the Bambara Empire was a critical component of its power and influence. The empire maintained a well-structured and disciplined military force, which played a significant role in both defense and expansion. The Bambara military was organized into various units, each specializing in different forms of combat and tactics. The core of the military force was composed of infantry units armed with spears, swords, and shields. Cavalry units, on the other hand, were equipped with horses and engaged in fast-moving attacks and reconnaissance missions. The military also had specialized units for siege warfare, which were crucial during campaigns to capture fortified cities or defend against invasions. The leadership of the military was hierarchical, with commanders appointed by the Ngaka overseeing different regions and units. These commanders were responsible for training soldiers, organizing military campaigns, and ensuring the discipline and effectiveness of their troops. The Ngaka himself was the supreme military leader, making strategic decisions and directing large-scale military operations. The Bambara Empire was involved in several notable conflicts during its history. One of the significant conflicts was the series of wars with neighboring states and rival empires, which were often driven by territorial ambitions or control over trade routes. These conflicts demonstrated the military prowess of the Bambara and contributed to the expansion and consolidation of the empire's territory. Additionally, the Bambara Empire faced challenges from external forces, including the rising influence of European colonial powers and the encroachment of other West African empires. Despite these challenges, the Bambara military's resilience and strategic capabilities played a crucial role in maintaining the empire's independence and sovereignty for a significant period. Agriculture formed the backbone of the Bambara Empire's economy. The fertile lands along the Niger River provided ideal conditions for the cultivation of a variety of crops. Key agricultural products included millet, sorghum, and rice, which were staple foods in the Bambara diet. These crops were well suited to the Sahelian environment, with its seasonal rains and relatively moderate temperatures. The Bambara practiced several innovative farming techniques to optimize agricultural production. One notable technique was the use of flood recession agriculture, where fields were planted along the banks of the Niger River and benefited from the annual flooding that deposited nutrient-rich silt. This method enhanced soil fertility and supported the growth of crops. Additionally, the Bambara employed crop rotation to maintain soil health and reduce the risk of pests and diseases. In addition to staple crops, the Bambara cultivated various legumes and vegetables, such as beans and okra, which complemented their diet and contributed to a diverse agricultural output. The use of traditional tools, such as hoes and digging sticks, was common, though some regions also utilized animal-drawn plows. Trade played a crucial role in the economic prosperity of the Bambara Empire. The empire was strategically located along key trade routes that connected the Sahara Desert to the south and the coastal regions of West Africa. This advantageous position allowed the Bambara to engage in extensive trade networks with both neighboring states and distant regions. The Bambara Empire was part of the Trans-Saharan Trade Network, which facilitated the exchange of goods such as gold, salt, and textiles. Gold, sourced from the Bambara's own mining regions, was a significant export that contributed to the empire's wealth. Salt, a vital commodity for preservation and flavoring, was imported from northern regions of the Sahara and traded throughout the empire. The Bambara also engaged in trade with European and North African merchants, exchanging goods like ivory, kola nuts, and handcrafted textiles. The empire's central location made it a key intermediary in these trade interactions, further enhancing its economic influence. Trade and agriculture were central to the Bambara Empire's prosperity. The fertile agricultural lands supported a stable food supply, which in turn enabled population growth and urban development. The surplus production of staple crops and cash crops such as cotton allowed the Bambara to trade with neighboring states and beyond, bringing in valuable resources and strengthening their economic position. The trade networks established by the Bambara Empire not only enriched the state but also facilitated cultural exchanges and technological advancements. The flow of goods and ideas contributed to the empire's development and helped it to maintain its political and economic stability for several centuries. The Bambara language, also known as Bamanankan, is a member of the Manding language family and serves as a significant cultural and communicative tool in the Bambara Empire. It is a tonal language with a rich oral tradition that includes proverbs, poetry, and storytelling. The Bambara people used oral literature to preserve history, convey moral lessons, and celebrate cultural events. Traditional Bambara literature often featured epic tales, legends, and historical narratives that reflected the values and beliefs of the society. These stories were performed by griots, traditional bards, who played a crucial role in maintaining and transmitting cultural heritage through oral recitation and musical performance. The art and architecture of the Bambara Empire reflect its cultural richness and creativity. Traditional Bambara art includes intricate wood carvings, masks, and sculptures that were used in various ceremonies and rituals. These artworks often depicted deities, ancestral figures, and animals, and were characterized by their elaborate and symbolic designs. Architecturally, the Bambara were known for their distinctive mud brick structures and fortified villages. The city of Segou, the empire's capital, featured impressive buildings and urban planning that showcased the empire's wealth and organizational skills. Notable architectural achievements include the Sakaso Mosque and the Dianiba Palace, which demonstrated the empire's ability to create functional and aesthetically pleasing structures. The Bambara Empire's religious landscape was characterized by a blend of indigenous beliefs and practices. Traditional Bambara religion centered around a pantheon of deities and spirits associated with nature, ancestors, and various aspects of daily life. Rituals and ceremonies were performed to honor these deities and seek their favor in matters such as agriculture, health, and prosperity. Islam also played a significant role in the Bambara Empire, particularly in the later stages of its history. The spread of Islam was facilitated by trade and interactions with Muslim merchants and scholars from North Africa and the Middle East. Over time, Islamic practices and teachings began to influence Bambara religious life, leading to a syncretic blend of traditional and Islamic beliefs. The integration of Islamic elements into Bambara religion was reflected in the architecture of mosques, the use of Arabic script in written texts, and the adoption of Islamic customs and festivals. This blending of religious traditions created a unique cultural identity that enriched the Bambara Empire's social and spiritual life. The decline of the Bambara Empire was the result of a combination of internal and external factors that weakened its structure and cohesion. One of the primary internal causes was political instability. After the death of powerful leaders such as Biton Coulibaly and Kaïda Kouyaté, succession disputes and factionalism emerged, leading to a weakened central authority. These internal conflicts undermined the empire's ability to govern effectively and maintain control over its territories. Another significant factor was the economic strain caused by external pressures. The trans-Saharan trade routes, which had once been a source of prosperity for the Bambara Empire, became increasingly contested. Rising competition from other West African states and the encroachment of European colonial powers disrupted traditional trade networks. The decline in trade revenue further strained the empire's economy and weakened its military capabilities. External military threats also played a crucial role in the empire's decline. The Bambara Empire faced continuous pressure from neighboring states, such as the expanding Tukulor Empire and the Islamic states of the Sahel. These external threats, combined with internal instability, led to a series of military defeats and territorial losses. The increasing frequency of conflicts drained the empire's resources and contributed to its eventual collapse. Colonial ambitions of European powers in West Africa further exacerbated the situation. The arrival of French colonial forces in the late 19th century marked the beginning of a new phase of conflict. The Bambara Empire, already weakened by internal strife and external pressures, struggled to resist the advancing colonial forces. The eventual French conquest and colonization of the region in the early 20th century marked the end of the Bambara Empire as a political entity. Despite its decline, the Bambara Empire left a lasting impact on the history of West Africa. Its influence extended to the political, economic, and cultural spheres of the region. The empire's role in facilitating trade and cultural exchanges contributed to the development of West African societies and the integration of diverse cultural elements. The Bambara Empire also played a significant role in shaping the political landscape of West Africa. Its administrative practices, military strategies, and governance structures influenced subsequent states and empires in the region. The legacy of Bambara political organization and statecraft can be seen in the administrative systems of later West African states. Furthermore, the empire's cultural contributions, including its art, literature, and religious practices, had a lasting impact on the region. The Bambara language and oral traditions continue to be preserved and celebrated in contemporary West African culture. The empire's artistic and architectural achievements are remembered as important aspects of West African heritage. The cultural legacy of the Bambara Empire is reflected in various aspects of modern West African society. Traditional Bambara art forms, such as wood carvings and masks, remain important elements of cultural expression and ceremonial practice. These artistic traditions continue to be practiced and celebrated, preserving the aesthetic and symbolic heritage of the Bambara people. The Bambara language, with its rich oral literature and storytelling traditions, continues to be spoken and studied. The preservation of Bambara oral traditions, including proverbs and epic tales, plays a crucial role in maintaining the cultural identity and historical consciousness of the Bambara people. Religious practices originating from the Bambara Empire, including traditional beliefs and the syncretic blend of indigenous and Islamic practices, remain integral to the spiritual life of the region. The continued practice of these religious traditions reflects the enduring influence of the Bambara Empire on the cultural and spiritual landscape of West Africa. The Bambara Empire, once a powerful and influential state in West Africa, played a significant role in shaping the region's history and culture. Its political structure, economic practices, and cultural achievements contributed to its prominence and impact. However, internal instability, external pressures, and colonial ambitions led to its decline and eventual collapse. The importance of the Bambara Empire in the broader context of West African history is evident in its contributions to political organization, trade networks, and cultural development. The empire's influence on subsequent states and societies highlights its role as a major player in the historical evolution of the region. Further research into the Bambara Empire could explore lesser-known aspects of its history, such as the daily life of its citizens, the specific details of its military strategies, and the nuances of its interactions with neighboring states. Additionally, examining the empire's impact on contemporary West African societies and its representation in modern cultural practices could provide valuable insights into its enduring legacy.